Hey, I'm Marky Dragon, and here with me today I've got Max from K2. He's also, you were GM PAX in Ultima Online, weren't you?
Indeed I was.
Quite an honor to meet you.
Well, thank you very much. It's an honor to be here.
So, I was talking to you, and God, we reminisced about some great times and everything. And, did you know that I at one point was a counselor?
I was not aware.
Yeah. So I do remember I came across you in game, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't remember whether it was a good or a bad experience, though.
I'm sure it's a good experience. With me, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, when you're telling me not to macro or something like that.
I probably said it in a very nice way.
Yeah, while I was in jail.
Yeah, that's right.
So, anyway, I think that you have some incredible stories about some of the stuff that took place back when you were on the team. Now, how long ago was it that you worked on UO?
Wow, it's got to be early, probably somewhere around 2001, 2002 now. So,
okay.
Many moons ago.
So that was kind of the height of UO.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really blazing back then. 350,000 subscribers
absolutely.
or so. Yeah. That was a really good time.
Yeah, that was when we peaked.
So, what is one of your favorite moments of like an in-game experience? So
as a GM, one of my favorite moments was there was one time when I was out and there was obviously a report from a player about an abusive language, and I get to town and there's a player who had the young tag. For those of you who don't know, in Ultima Online, they implement a system where for the first 40 hours, or if you hit before you hit the cap,
I do remember that. You could dismiss it somehow. I don't remember how to do that.
But the young designation, kind of gave you a little bit more freedom and marked you so you were, so people helped you as opposed to take advantage of you. Unfortunately, however,
which they still did anyway.
Well, which they still, of course, but you had a better likelihood, I guess. So while many new players were marked young, obviously people who were putting together accounts and just throwaway accounts to cause mischief would also be young.
Yes.
So this particular gentleman was in town at the Brit Bank, spamming some of the most awful stuff that I've seen. Racial slurs and the whole nine. So clearly, I took him to jail, and I was going through the suspension/banning process, and all of a sudden, another player appeared with me in jail, not a GM, and and immediately I was unsure how this player got there. There was a moment where the three of us kind of stopped because it was unusual. First of all, we're in jail. I don't know how players can get to jail. There was actually a program, and one of the final programs, after the counselors, after seers and advisors.
It was one of the newbie help programs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they let it remain because the only power that it gave them was the ability to teleport directly to young players.
Which was not really very abusable.
Not at all.
Except if they're in jail.
Except if they're in jail. So he rides and he says, I'm who I am, this is that. What can I teach you today? And there was this pause, because that was his macro.
You can teach me how to get banned.
and this guy goes, oh, you want to help me? Well, I'll tell you you can help me. And he goes off on this player.
Into him.
Absolutely. And I can imagine this other player who is really trying to do out of the goodness of his heart to help people, realizes he's in jail, is getting cussed at in the most terrible way by a player, pauses, gone. Just leaves, doesn't say anything, just wants to get out of it.
It was an oops moment.
Exactly. And so that was one of the more interesting calls as a GM back in the day.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's a fun little story, and I remember my couple of times in jail. Yeah, they weren't quite as funny.
No.
I was a bad boy back then. So, okay, well, thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.